Welcome to another captivating segment of HGCTV podcast interviews. Get ready to be swept off your feet as we gear up for the highly anticipated 2024 House of God Convocation, set to take place in the heart of Lexington, Kentucky, from July 25th through 27th, 2024. Join us as we delve into exclusive interviews, delivering vital information and building excitement for this monumental event. We're here to ensure you're fully prepared to seize every moment of this extraordinary gathering. From insightful discussions about the conference agenda to exploring the array of offerings awaiting you, our podcast is your gateway to an unforgettable experience. Prepare to be enthralled as we uncover the essence of the House of God Convocation and the enriching opportunities it holds. Mark your calendars and make sure to tune in as we pave the way for yet another year of unparalleled services, captivating vending experiences, and a wealth of knowledge waiting to be shared. Join us on HGCTV Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. Dr. Brigman here from the House of God Social Work Board. Once again, bringing you guys some good information. And we have a very good program for you tonight. We have a special guest from the House of God Social Work Board, the chairperson for our college and career readiness program. And we're just excited because she has so many things that are going on in her committee that that the church should really be excited about. And I'm just not even going to waste any more time. We just want to bring her on, our minister, Elizabeth Williams Johnson, but we're going to shorten it and say Minister Liz. Is that all right, Minister Liz?
That is absolutely fine. And we can shorten it to just Liz.
How are you doing tonight?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm just excited about what's happening with you. You know, we know the social work board to a lot of the church is somewhat still new. People are still learning about who we are and what we do and so forth. But one of the most important things that I'm excited about is the scholarship. We started this year with a $500 scholarship. And at this past women's conference, our Councilwoman Gray decided to donate some extra funds. Our Minister Tiffany Michelle Brown donated some extra funds. And then we had a company out of Cincinnati, Ohio called RSV Realty Group donated more funds. So we're able to bless more students. And so I'm so excited. And that's why we want to jump on tonight. Because you are over the college and career readiness program. And we just want you to talk a little bit. Could you just introduce yourself and just let the people know, like, your background, where you come from? Why are you such an expert at this?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everybody. I'm going to do this very briefly because I have a very long story, as I'm sure lots of us do. So when I first started at the beginning of my career, so after time I got married and moved back to the St. Louis area, I spent some time working for the YMCA in their college and career readiness program. I had gone to college, had gotten my bachelor's degree, and enjoyed the experience, and at the same time knew that if I had a little more support, right, a little more knowledge, and ideas of what to expect out of the higher education experience, then I could have gotten even more out of it. So I did the college and career readiness program for the Y, and that basically meant that I was in the schools, really boots on the ground, working with high school students, helping them with everything from the application process to scholarship searches, and even career exploration. So I really enjoyed the work, and I quickly realized that, the school I was in and so many other organizations I was working with, we were really good at convincing students they should go to college or pursue some post-secondary training, weren't always as good at making sure those students had the skills that they needed to persist through the graduation, right? To make sure that they got that college degree and were as successful as they should be afterwards. And so I decided, I just wanted a little more training. So I ended up going to exploring different careers myself, career paths, and went to entered a Master's of Social Work program. So that's my training, Master's of Social Work. When I went in, I was expecting to work clinically, potentially continuing the work I was doing with students. But then really developed this passion for meso and macro level social work. And I won't go into all of it, but what that means is that I really dug into working at the organizational level, right? Making sure that, once we got these students to and through, that the, institutions were actually doing for them what they were supposed to, right? So I won't say a whole lot more about that, but that's, my background is just really working one-on-one, coaching students. And so at this point in my career, I still coach students through the church and some mentees and things. But I'm also on the other side, working with alumni and students already in college, really helping folks to build networks and a little bit on the philanthropy side of things, raising the money that students need.
We need the money. We need the money. But so it sounds like you really just kind of got started in this direction based on your own personal journey. It was something that you were exploring directly yourself, and then were able to work in that field. And you've just kind of been going ever since, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, at the same time that I started working for the Readiness College and Career Readiness space, we had this phenomenal group of young people at my local church. And they were all around the same age, all in high school. I'm around that sophomore, junior age when I started working with them, and really saw a need for college and career readiness coaching that also took into account the spiritual side of things as well, right? Nice. And so it was really great to be able to serve in that ministry space at the same time as I was showing care and concern for what was going on in their natural lives as well. Nice. And so kind of that love and that I have for these 4 young people, right? It really was what drove that passion to learn more and be able to serve them in that way, and then ultimately be able to help other folks as well.
Awesome. And that is such a key component to what we are doing as a part of the Social Work Board of the House of God is we're showing that love and concern for all students. Because, as you know, the Go for Mo scholarship is named after my daughter, Mo Hamner, as she was commonly known in the church. We knew her as Monet Daly Hockster. But nonetheless, she was in school and was on that path to finishing her degree, but due to her untimely passing, she was not able to do that. And so, of course, the attention turned to, we want to bless other students. We want to bless those who really, have a desire to go, but maybe they don't know what it takes, what all do they need to be able to pursue further education, whether that's a trade school or if it's college, because college is not for everyone. And so this scholarship that you oversee, it's a part of your committee, is exactly coming from a place of love, care, concern, because we want every person who is deserving to get the opportunity. Of course, we can't bless everyone, but we have moved from one scholarship, being able to offer one scholarship, to at least 4 scholarships, at a minimum 4. And we might be able to do more. It just depends on what else comes in. But we'll see what happens with that. So it is coming from a place of care and concern. What do you think, out of from your experience of working with the young people, what are some of the barriers that get in the way, maybe mentally, emotionally, what gets in the way of them even deciding to pursue something like college or a trade, from your experience?
So there's so many reasons. Every person's story is different. Just kind of in the context of tonight's conversation, though, I think that 2 key things. One is lack of awareness or knowledge, right? So there are so many scholarships out there, so many resources by which or through which students can find these scholarships, but don't always know what those resources are, right? And don't always know what scholarships exist. So I think that's part of it. I think the other part is um, everybody knows these scholarships, so many students are going for them. And so I think part of this, not think, but just in past experience, some students are like, there's not even a point in me applying because I don't see myself getting it, right? I'm going against all these other students. I'll just be another, application in a pile. And so there's no point in me even doing it. And so one of the things I'm really excited about when it comes to the Go for Mo scholarship, and even also, which we'll talk about in a later conversation, the O'Brien White Scholarship, is that one, students, the burden isn't on students to apply, right? They don't have to do the application. Pastors nominate the students, right?
Right. That's right.
Now, students, if your pastor doesn't know about this opportunity, or you think that maybe he or she won't be quick to recommend you, you can also reach out to your pastor and say, hey, I saw this scholarship, would love for you to recommend me. So I just want to put that out there. The other piece is the Go for Mo scholarship is specifically for House of God high school seniors. That means you're not competing against 500 other students, right? It's a smaller group of folks, and there's a higher likelihood that you'll get it. So, just like I said, there's so many reasons why students either, don't apply for the scholarships or don't apply for school. And on the higher education side of things, we know that students who have seen it modeled, right? Other folks in their families, other folks in their communities or networks going to college or pursuing some training after high school are more likely to do so themselves. And so, especially for our students who are first generation, right? They're the first in their families to have the opportunity to pursue post-secondary education. They need support, right, to help understand what the processes look like, what the timelines look like, and also to see themselves on the other side, right, actually persisting through the graduation.
That is so important. And you're right. Like I think the benefit that this scholarship provides, and also, as you mentioned, the O'Brien White Scholarship, and we're really praying that a student is blessed by that as well at the convention, and it will be awarded at this year's annual convention, correct?
So I'm so glad you asked. The Go
Uh-huh.
for Mo scholarship will be awarded during this year's convention. The O'Brien White Scholarship will be awarded during this year's YPU meeting. So people
Got
have a
it.
little bit more time to apply for that one.
Gotcha.
It will, I think the deadline's in October, and we'll put the information up about the application later. And the O'Brien White Scholarship, the criteria is a little different, right? So we're going to talk soon, I think, about the Go for Mo, which is specifically for high school seniors.
Got you. Got you. That is that is awesome. That is so awesome. And again, the competition is reduced significantly because you're not going up against 500 or 1,000 other students for either one of those scholarships. So we really, young people, push your pastor, comment, share, and like this video. The more people know about it, the better opportunities pastors have to nominate their students. And we have several nominations that have already come in. So we want to encourage you. When is the deadline, Minister Liz?
So the deadline is April 1st, which I know folks have so many things going on in their lives, and April 1st seems like a long time away. But we want you to go ahead and get those nominations in if you
Get it
can.
done.
And then, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We were very intentional about making the form very simple, right? Like we're really asking for some basic information, and then some information about the nominee. So yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So I want to make sure that We don't leave anything out in terms of like the qualifications. We know that the pastors are nominating. What is it based on? What's the scholarship based on?
That is a great question. I've actually got this slide here I'm going to share.
Okay.
And it's just a version of the flyer that I believe we shared during Women's Conference. And so the Go for Mo scholarship, let me add that. There we go. So just as a reminder, the Go for More Memorial Scholarship. And we're asking pastors to nominate an outstanding high school senior. And the nominee criteria is not very complicated, right? Two main things. That the student is a high school senior with plans to pursue post-secondary education. Just like Dr. Brigman said, this does not have to be a 4-year college. It can be a trade school, it can be a vocational program, just something preparing the student for a career after high school. And then the second criteria is they must be nominated by a House of God pastor. And so those are the two the criteria that we're really looking at. And pastors, once you go in to look at the nomination form, you'll see we ask about the student, right? Like your relationship with the student and why you're nominating them for this scholarship. And that's where you get to tell us why the student should get it. Again, the nomination deadline is April 1st. If you can just get it in by 11:59 p.m. on April 1st, then that would be helpful for us. If you would like more information or to access that nomination form, we've got the short code there. It's bit.ly /41E3WUJ. And you can also scan that QR code. And then, as Dr. Brigman mentioned, I'm just doing this in honor of Mo Hamner, who was pursuing her bachelor's degree prior to 2021. Did I miss anything, Dr. B?
No, I think you got everything right. And I think that the most important thing, I think another reason just came to me why like students don't apply for scholarships and they may not even push their pastors to nominate them for this one is they might think that it's based on having a high GPA, or some criteria that they feel like academically they cannot meet. This is really, I think when we initially talked about this, we wanted to honor a student who really shows good moral character. They serve the church. They show up. They're supportive of the pastor. They're supportive of programs. So they show an outstanding character. So it's a character-based scholarship. So if you're not like a straight A student or, top honors in school, don't let that discourage you from pushing your pastor to nominate you. Okay. So
absolutely. I'm really glad you pulled that out. If you notice, we didn't put a GPA criteria on there. There are lots of those scholarships out there, but this isn't necessarily one of them. That's not to say that we don't honor the folks who have put in the work and have those high GPAs, or that would in any way keep us from choosing somebody who fit that criteria. But yes, really about moral, high moral character, and really also want to reward those young folks who are actively engaged in their local churches.
Absolutely. So once again, like, comment, share. We definitely are going to respond to your questions, any questions you might have. It may be hard for you to see on Minister Liz's screen is an actual email. And it's, I don't know if you can see it, but HGscholarshipcommittee @gmail.com. That's where you send those nomination forms. Any questions? Can they also send questions to that email?
They can send questions through that email, and I'm happy to answer them. We are monitoring it. I will say, if you can, we would love for you to use that. It's just a Google form, like the nomination form for the actual scholarship. It just makes it easier for us when it comes time for selection to be able to track all the information together. But I will say too, I don't want that to be a barrier. So pastors, if you have any issues with the form, please feel free to submit your nomination via the email address as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm so grateful to you, Minister Liz. I mean, just the work that you've been doing, your portion of what we do as a social work board, you hit the ground running, like really almost as soon as you took over the committee, you got to working. And so we're so excited because it is going to be a blessing to so many students. And this is our first year doing this. So we're hoping that the word gets around and more students get nominated for next year's, scholarships. And so, we want to definitely make sure we support our young people. Young people, just so you know, also, the scholarship committee is not the only thing that the social work board has for you. We have a teen and adolescent committee that our elder David Brand and our elder David Wallace co-chair together. We want you guys to tap into that. Those are services, that maybe have nothing to do with college. Maybe it's just you need to support around different personal, mental health, emotional issues. That's a committee that we have. We also, have committees that are for singles and for couples and those who might be dealing with substance abuse or caring for an elderly person. Lots of things to do with the social work board that we want you guys to tap into. But of course, tonight, again, the focus is on these scholarships. And we want you guys to get out, nominate, push your pastors to nominate you, whatever you have to do, because we want to be a blessing to you. All right. So, Minister Liz, do you have anything that you want to share before we close out?
Yes, if I may, while I'm here.
Yeah.
So really excited, want to iterate. We're really excited about the scholarships, right? This opportunity, as a social worker, I know oftentimes in so many of our programs, we do a lot of awareness building, right? And educating folks. It's a really special thing when we can also give people actual resources, right? And in this case, money, right? And it's really important. And like you mentioned before, are just wanting to see this grow, right? So we're not locked into the $500 amount. I think we've talked about this before. We'd love to be able to bless students with more financial resource, right? And a larger number of students. And so we're also on the side over here, if folks are interested in partnering with us that way, we will take it.
Amen.
The other thing, though, I wanted to reiterate is this College and Career Readiness Committee is new. And I have a particular area of this where I have experience and expertise really around the coaching piece of it. There are folks who work in higher education financial assistance. There are people who are high school counselors. There are people who just know all of the ins and outs of the FAFSA. And just all these different parts of college and career readiness, people who are career coaches, who work in financial empowerment. And so I just want to send an appeal out that if you are somebody who does any of these things, or maybe something that I didn't mention, we would love, love, love to have you join the College and Career Readiness Committee. There's some things that we want to do around career exploration and really giving some good information out, and we could use your help. So I say all that to say, if you are interested in serving the church in this way with your gifts, your talents, your time, please reach out to me. You can use that email address that I'm sure we'll include in the chat as well. Or if we are friends on Facebook, send me a message. I would love to talk and see how we can get you plugged in. I also understand that people have different time capacity, and so we honor that as well. So if there is a set amount of time that you can share, we will find a way to get you plugged in. So I'm going to stop there, but just wanted to use the space to say I am right now a committee of one, and I would like for that not to be a month from now.
We are praying that the Lord will send help your way. Amen. But you're doing an excellent job. Just, like you said, by yourself. You're a committee of one, but you're making that start. And I think when people understand the benefit to the church, like all these disciplines that you just listed, some people have expertise in financial aid, the financial aid piece, and then other pieces that go along with the process of going into secondary education. So I do hope that those of you who are listening, if you have those skills, please tap in. We need you. We need everybody who has an expertise that can help not only in this area, but some of the other areas, committees that I mentioned. So we thank you, Minister Liz, for your time tonight. We thank you guys for posting your comments and questions, and we will look forward to connecting with you soon. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of the evening.
Bye, everybody.